CORGS Con 2018 was this past Saturday, June 2nd, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at some footage of that conference, as well as some of my pickups from the trade show. CORGS Con is a convention put on annually by the Columbus, Ohio Retro Gaming Society. And it's a trade show. It's a one-day trade show that happens in the Columbus, Ohio area, where we get lots of vendors and buyers together. This year it was hosted at the McCoy Center in Hilliard, Ohio, and it was a really nice show. I'm going to be going through my pickups, and as I go through, I'll also show some video footage of walking around the convention. Some of the vendors that we saw there. There was a few people that I know that were vending there. Some other resellers that I deal a lot with. Mike Reichard from Wildcard Games was there. Tyler Owens, Games by T.O., he was there. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. There were a couple other people there. I met Jason there, traded him some things. I had some game cases he was looking for, as well as just meeting a lot of people, and I picked up a lot of Sega games. So we're going to go ahead and go over some of those pickups. I'm going to start off with a individual, actually a couple people, that they make really homebrew games. And he's actually, he had mentioned that he recognized me from the channel, and so he's a subscriber to my channel. I definitely want to give a shout out to Eric. He's a huge Sega fan. So here you can see your Sega source on the back. They make some really cool Sega repros, really homebrews, not necessarily repros. I went ahead and picked one up for him. I wanted to review on the channel, and he had a whole slew of games, some really great items at his booth. But one that really stood out to me, that I definitely want to check out and try, do a review on the channel, is Beavis and Butthead do Streets of Rage 3. So it's kind of a mashup of, you can play as Beavis and Butthead in Streets of Rage 3. He had mentioned that the first level was playable. In order to get to the other levels, you have to use the cheat codes, but I'm definitely going to check this one out on the channel. He does some really cool artwork with his labels. I was talking to him about, how he makes his games, and, what he uses. If you follow the channel, you know that I make some of my own games. None of them I sell. They're all for personal use for the most part. But he actually hand cuts all of his labels, which is very impressive. Pretty much everything he hand makes. He uses a lot of similar items to what I have showcased on the channel before. So definitely cool. His company is Toys R Us. He mentioned he doesn't have a storefront or anything, but I will leave his Instagram in the description below, so definitely check him out. He also gave me some pretty neat things. The first thing was a vinyl sticker of the Sega Seal of Quality. So I got that from him, which was really cool. And they also make some pins. Him and his brother make these little pins. They had all different styles, and he gave me these as well. So he got, we've got the Sega Genesis Model 1 console, and we have a matching 3-button controller. So very cool. Appreciate that. And then he also gave me a set of these Kellogg's kind of stickers, these Challenge You stickers. They're all still sealed from the early 90s. They had these in Kellogg's boxes of cereal, where you basically, it's to pretty much label your games. So kids could put this on their game, and it basically says, this is the person that owns the game, instead of using a marker to write on the games. I wish more people use these. A lot of the NES cartridges have people's names written in them, or even etched in the cartridges sometime. But that's what I got from him. Next up, we found a seller that had data discs. So I was really excited. I walked by their booth. I saw a box of what looked like vinyl. I glanced down, and I saw a couple vinyl. I flipped through, found some data discs inside, which are awesome. I collect them. There's one I've been looking for a long time, and they actually had it still sealed, and that is the Shenmue data disc. So I finally have Shenmue, and this is the official data disc one. So I'm really excited for that. And they gave me a great deal on it, a lot cheaper than what they're going for on eBay right now. I also swung by the Video Games Monthly booth. They were set up there as well. I actually had an interesting conversation with them. You know, they mentioned to me they just boxed up my Video Games Monthly box, so very cool. He said he boxed it up himself, so I'm hoping maybe I get a partners pack this month. We'll see how that goes. But they had a bin of a lot of their games that they do in their joke boxes. And so he asked me, he said, you know, you can go ahead and pick through and grab whatever you want. I actually found 3 games in there I really wanted, and so they let me have all of them. I was going to buy them from them, but they said I could just have them. So that was really cool of them. We've got 3 Mary-Kate and Ashley games for the Game Boy. So we've got Pocket Planner, Get a Clue, and we also have the New Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley. So very cool of them. Really looking forward to getting my box from them. Next up, actually Mike from Mike Reichard, he had I went to his booth first actually at the beginning of the show. When I got there at 9 o'clock when they opened. He had tons of box Game Gear items. I wanted to buy all of them, but I told him, I said, you know, I'm gonna walk around the conference. If you have any of this left when I come back, I'm gonna pick it up off of you. So I walk around, and by the time I got back, he had sold most of it. He had 1 Game Gear boxed item left, and it is the super wide gear for the Game Gear, and it is complete. It is boxed. Still has the original price sticker on it. Very cool. He gave me a great deal on this. And he also had some CDI games that I went ahead and picked up from him. So we've got Pinball. We've got Caesar's World of Gambling. Efficer. And we have CD Shoot. So picked up some CDI games from him. I'm really excited for those. Another vendor who I actually did not catch his name, but I got a lot of stuff from him. He's another Sega collector, and he actually has a near complete Game Gear collection, similar to me. The only one he's missing is Pete Sampras Tennis. Obviously I'm missing Fantastic Dizzy as well, but he gave me some great deals on some items I needed. So we start off with Budokan for the Sega Genesis, Sword of Sodan, Bushido, and Jennifer Capriati Tennis. And when I grabbed Tennis, he said to me, he's like, do you need the manual and the box art to go with that? I said, if you have it, that'd be great. So he pulls out this box, probably about this big, and it's just filled with game case inserts, all original Sega inserts and manuals. And so I started going through it, and I said, you know what, how much for all of these inserts and all of these manuals? We worked out a price, and so I ended up getting all of these Sega inserts. Some of them are sports titles, some are pretty good titles, like we've got the Lawnmower Man here. So I have a lot of games that I'm trying to transition from Universal game cases to original Sega Genesis cases, and so I'll be able to match up some of the artwork for these. He was doing a similar thing to what I'm doing right now, where I'm buying up lots on eBay just to get the original Sega cases to put the games in, because it's a lot cheaper that way, but you end up with a lot of sports titles. he ended up with some more than just sports titles, as I can see here with Lawnmower Man. Also got some manuals off of him. So these are all manuals for Sega games. Lots of sports titles in here, but some other titles as well. Like we've got Streets of Rage 2. We've got Shadow Dancer. There's some Powerball. There's some nice titles in here. Young Indiana Jones. Some of these I didn't have the manuals for, so I just went ahead and made them an offer on the whole lot. And there's a bunch of more manuals as well. So definitely got a lot of stuff off of him. We also got some of the inserts for like the Major League Baseball game that has the stat cards, things like that. So some items that I was definitely missing. Justice League manual there as well. So nice stuff there. And then continuing with him, he had some other items. He gave me, well, he sold me Jurassic Park Lost World for Sega Saturn really cheap. Included the manual with it. So appreciate that. And then the rest of these are Sega CD games that he gave me phenomenal deals on as well. We've got Mega Race, Crisscross, and we also have the Rock Paintings. This was the CDG, the karaoke sampler, and it is complete. It's got both discs. So I got all of that off of him, which is great. A couple other small things we got. Video Games Monthly for everybody in line was handing out these wristbands. They've sent these in boxes before. Everybody at emission time got a really cool gift from Hyperkin. This is actually Pogs with a slammer. So very cool. Love seeing Pogs. And then there were some various other vendors that had a lot of Sega games, and I went ahead and picked up some that I needed. So we'll start off with some better titles. Midnight Resistance. And then we've got Lightning Force, Arrow Flash, Kagiki, Fists of Steel, Marvel Land, Toxic Crusaders, Trampoline Terror, Pack Attack, and I can't thank that guy enough who at the very end of the, well, right before I was leaving, I was on one last loop around the convention. I saw that he had both of these titles. He gave me phenomenal deals on these. He sold me these games complete at probably half the price of what they're worth loose. So I can't thank him enough for that. And then we've got a couple Master System titles. Great Volleyball, and probably the find of the convention, I would say, at least in my opinion. And that is a complete copy, mint complete copy of RC Grand Prix. And that was actually from the same seller that had Pack Attack and Trampoline Terror. They gave me a really good deal on that as well. But that's all my pickups from CORGS Con 2018. Drop me a comment below. Let me know what you thought about these pickups. And if you want the CORGS, let me know what you got. I know there were a lot of people that follow me on YouTube that were there at the convention, either vending or buying. I did see a lot of people I recognized and talked to a lot of people. So definitely leave me a comment below. Let me know what you picked up. And thank you for watching.